Hey, welcome back to Hanging with Jay. Jim Willoughby here. I appreciate you coming back. And if you're a current subscriber, always like to thank my current subscribers and appreciate you for your support and coming back. And if you're new, this is episode 3 of Hanging with Jay. And what we do in these episodes is we kind of look at some guitar gear. The last 2 episodes, we looked at a Fender 68 Vibrachamp reverb reissue amp. It's a combo 5-watt tube amp, killer little amp, man. The more I play it, the more I love it. It's just awesome. Got some nice tube breakup that you can get out of it without it being overly too loud. And in episode 2, we looked at my vintage MXR Distortion Plus here, going through that same Fender amp. And basically, this was just used as a boost for an already dirty sound. I had the amp pushed pretty good and just threw this in front of it, tweaked the knobs a little bit, just kind of a general idea of what it can do. I may do another episode on just this and actually plug it into a clean amp and show how it actually sounds on its own without being used as like a boost for a solo or something like that. So today what we're going to look at, I'm sure everybody has heard of these. This is my Martin DXME, and this is a 2000 model. Now, this is the completely laminate, or HPL, that Martin calls it. It's almost kind of feels plasticky, which, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know, but, I don't think it really is. This is the same kind of stuff as like Formica, or what you would, build a countertop with. But this is one here. This is my own that I've had for over 20 years, and for 20 years or more, this was my main guitar, both gigging and just playing around the house, or I took this thing with me everywhere. And I'll cover some pros and cons of this here at the end, and I'll explain some of these signatures here. I played a festival in Tennessee several years ago, and it was called Super Twang Festival. The thing kind of went down in flames. I'm not going to get into the details. You could probably look it up online and find some details about it. But all I know is I had a great time and I got paid. So we'll leave it at that. And, one of the biggest takeaways was all these signatures on the guitar here. I got all the Kentucky Headhunters. I met all of them. As a matter of fact, I was standing on the back corner of their stage their entire set that they played there. So that was really awesome. He was turning around and giving me thumbs up. One of their guitar players was, I can't remember his name. It wasn't Greg Martin, but it was the other guitar player, the blonde-headed dude. But yeah, I got all their autographs on here. As you can see right here is Greg Martin's. And this is the other guitar player right here. It's kind of faded because I've been playing this, I played this guitar. And probably one of the bigger ones is, I don't know if you can see right there and read that, but that is from Artemis Pyle, the drummer from Lynyrd Skynyrd. He's changed markers in the middle of the signature because all I had was a big Sharpie, and somebody came along and had a smaller one, so he finished it off with a smaller one so it would be a little bit more legible. But I'll never forget what he said to me. Artemis Pyle looks at me, he says, you got some green in your eye. And I wasn't thinking. I was like, man, I said, well, my eyes are blue. They're not green. And he said, no, you got some green in your eye. So the only thing I could think he was talking about was probably money. And, or maybe he, might have saw the hunger in my eyes for, and my drive for music. And, it's my calling, and I believe it's what I'm meant to do. So that's what I do. I play guitar, I write songs, and I sing. And I do gear demos. So without further ado, we'll look at this. And like I said, this is an all HPL body. Now, the newer ones, there are some differences with the newer ones. And, some of the newer ones, and I think even back then in 2000 when these came out, which I think it was 2000 when they came out, was right around that time frame. So this is actually one of the first ones they ever made. So there are a couple differences. They still make the all HPL body. And I think it does have a pickup in it, just like this one. It's got a Fishman pickup in it. This is a Fishman System 1. You can see it there. And this thing sounds pretty good plugged in. Like I said, this was my #1 guitar for acoustic guitar, that is, for over 20 years. And you can see on the fretboard here, I don't know if you can really see it in the camera so much, but there's some pretty deep divots in here where, I don't know if I can move the strings around a little bit and you can see But I don't know if you can see that good, but there's some pretty deep divots in here from where this thing is just, I played the snot out of this thing, man, for like I said, for 20 years or more. But this has a rosewood fretboard. I actually contacted Martin because I'd seen some of the newer specs. I'm like, this doesn't match my guitar. So I actually contacted Martin several years ago. I got the actual documents they sent me put away in storage, unfortunately, so I can't show those to you. But this has a solid mahogany neck. And you can see there, this is a solid mahogany neck. And the newer ones come with a Stradibon neck, which actually I have a 12-string that we'll look at another episode, maybe the next episode. And we'll notice some differences between the 12-string, because this is a newer one, and this one here. But yeah, so this has a solid mahogany neck. It has a rosewood fretboard is what I was told, but I'm not entirely sure, especially the way those divots ended up in there. But anyway, this was built in the USA. You can see inside there. And they don't make these in the USA anymore. They're made in Mexico now. And this is their X series. And I'm not sure if they were really called the X series back then when these came out or not. They may have been, they may not have been. I really don't know. But yeah, this is one of the first DXMEs ever made. This is a 2000 model. And that's pretty much the only differences, I think, is the neck. And, you know, you can get some with a solid spruce top, which is my 12-string I have is like that. It's got the solid spruce top, and the rest is the same kind of, you know, the HPL material. But it sounds amazing. It's got a pickup in it. You can plug it in. It's great. I've done some recording with it, and everything sounds absolutely great for anything you want to do, really, even sitting acoustic. Now, one drawback to this, I never noticed until I started really playing, you know, like sitting around a bonfire or something, you know, and playing with my friends who also would play guitar, you know, we'd sit around and just be picking a little bit. If I went to take a lead, there was just no volume. You couldn't hear the thing. And, you know, I'd have to tell everyone, like, well, play quieter so you can hear me. And now part of that was probably contributed to having extra light strings on here, which I believe now I have lights on it. And you can see here that this is kind of bellied up a little bit. But if you look in some of Martin's manuals about some of these guitars, they say that is normal, although I'm not entirely sure that is quite normal. I think there may be a brace or something that's broke inside there, but I'll be honest with you, I pretty much retired this guitar because, you know, obviously it's got all these signatures on here from several of the super twang artists. And I've got other higher end guitars. I've got a D28, I got a Gibson J185. I'll cover all of those eventually in some episodes as well. But what I want to do here is just, if anybody's curious about these, you know, a lot of people say with the newer ones, you know, they have the Stradibon neck rather than a solid mahogany neck. And a lot of people seem to think, you know, for the money, you could probably get a better guitar. Now, I'm not going to argue that, but you might could get a better built guitar. I'm not sure if it's going to have the same kind of Martin tone, but you know, it's completely up to the person or yourself, you know, if you want to buy one of these or not, and what your budget is. I got this thing in 2000, and it came with a hard shell case, and it was right around $500, $550, something like that, somewhere around there. And yeah, like I said, it's been my #1 guitar for several years. But I think that's about the only differences. This, I believe, is a rosewood bridge. And I did at one point have the bridge and the nut changed out to graphite. I'm pretty sure that's, or not graphite, my mistake, Gravtech, which improved the sound drastically. I took this and had it set up at a place, and the guy that does it is just phenomenal at setting up guitars. So he set it all up for me and recommended changing those out. So I went ahead and took his recommendation, and I'm glad I did. So if you got a guitar that's got some plastic bridges or a plastic nut, changing it out to a Graphtech will be a significant total improvement for the tone of that guitar and how it sounds. Now, as far as how it plays, I really don't know, because I mean, this guitar has always played great. I'm not gonna lie, it's always been a great playing guitar. Of course, after I had a nice setup done, it played better, you know, than it did originally. But I mean, it's always played well, and it's got a beautiful sound. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and give you some clips of this, and I'm gonna start with it unplugged, so you can hear what the sound like is unplugged. And then after that, I'll plug it in, and we'll see how it sounds plugged in. All right, stay tuned. All right, so I apologize if it's just a little noisy. My computer fan wants to keep coming off and on and staying on for long periods of time. I guess that's just all part of it. So while it's getting ready, I was reminded of the thing I hate the most about this guitar. And it is the fact that the battery is up in here, right underneath this. And apparently the battery that was in there was no good, because it kept shorting out and just doing some weird stuff. So I got that swapped out. So I'm going to start here without the pickup, and I'm just going to go through the mic. And this is an XS1 microphone. It's a condenser microphone. It's a pretty nice microphone. It's got some settings, you know, where you can have like some bass roll off and, you know, minus so many dB or something like that. But it works pretty good for an all-around mic. I use it for mostly for vocals, but I also do use it on my acoustic guitars when I'm doing recording. So we'll see how it sounds here. And the EQ is, I've got the bass turned down a little bit on EQ on the soundboard. And the mids and highs are straight at 12 o'clock. So we'll see what we got. All right, so now I'm gonna turn this mic off a minute. right, well, I appreciate you checking it out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you're not a subscriber, I appreciate you clicking that subscribe button and subscribing to the channel for more information about different gear and some songs, some of my cover songs that I perform, and some of my original songs as well that I've got out there. And if you let me know what you think, if you got one of these or one of the newer ones, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll also include the links down there in the description of the video, so you can find, well, I mean, you're not going to find this actual guitar, which, I mean, you might find it used somewhere, which I actually have seen one of these used. And I don't remember what the price on it was. I think it was a few $100s or something maybe. But yeah, so once again, I appreciate it. And everybody have a great day, and God bless.